Hi. Last time we were here, we talked about making a winning offer, and that time we talked about things you can do or have to make your best offer, so that you know all of the information. This time we're going to talk a little bit about what you need to know or what you need to decide before you make that offer. We're first going to talk about price, and I said last time it's good to have comparables so you can see what other homes in the neighborhood sold for. Mm, and make a good offer. Make an offer that is fair for the house, right, compared to the other things. Mostly in the neighborhood, that's going to be your best. If you have other houses, lots of other houses in the neighborhood that are similar, then that's going to be your best way to determine the price of this house. And if the house that you're looking at has been way more updated than others, then the price will probably be a little bit higher. And if the house is maybe not in as good a shape, that might indicate that you would offer on the low end of the comparables. So make sure and take a look. Talk to your realtor about that, because usually they can guarantee, or can not guarantee, but it can recommend a good price for you to look at. The second thing that you'll need to know is when do you want to close on your house? What's good for you? What can the lender do? You might want to ask your lender. And are you flexible? Because sometimes that can be a good strategy, is that you're flexible. So when do you want to close on the house? And usually closing takes place about 30 to 45 days after the offer, or after an offer is accepted. That gives the lender time to do their thing, the title company time to do their thing. It gives you time to do inspections and the seller time to do repairs. So make sure and take a look at that. When do you want to close? And where are you going to be on vacation? 30 to 45 days. So that's all stuff that you need to know. Make sure and look at your calendar before you put a date on the contract for an offer. The next thing is earnest money. You'll want to know how much earnest money that you'll want to put down. Earnest money is basically saying I'm earnest about purchasing this property. And it's an amount of money. A lot of times people say 1% of the sales price, but it's negotiable. So it is however much money you want to put out there. Again, negotiable. So the seller could say I want more, or I don't need that much. That never happens, but they could say I want more. And earnest money, when you give your earnest money, it's deposited in a trust account usually. Sometimes it's the listing agent's trust account. Sometimes it's the buyer, your agent's trust account. Sometimes it's the title company. And with builders, sometimes it's the builder who holds the money. So make sure and know about that. And the check will be cashed. So make sure and know that that's happening as well. And typically that doesn't happen until you have a finalized contract. So earnest money. Another thing that you can do on a home when you're purchasing it on their offer is to ask for a home warranty. Home warranty will cover some things if they break: your heat and air and your water heater, things like that. And I say cover, but what I'll tell you about home warranties is I think that it's a good idea. Sometimes it's not going to cover all of the costs, but it will help alleviate some of the costs if something goes wrong in the first year of you owning the home. And I will say that inevitably something goes wrong in the first year of you owning the home. I think a home warranty is a great idea, especially if the home is more than 10 years old. So keep that in mind as well. You can ask the seller to pay for a home warranty for you. Also, you could ask for some things. I know people are always asking, so do washers and dryers and refrigerators come with the home? And in Oklahoma, they do not. Washers, dryers, and refrigerators do not come with the home, but ovens and microwaves, if they're built in, and dishwashers, if there is one, are required to stay with the home. And so you can count on that. But you might also see some other things that I've had people ask for, to make sure the play set in the backyard stays, or maybe there's a couch that you really like. I always say everything's negotiable. So if you really want to do those things, you can write that onto the offer. Refrigerators and washers and dryers, you can write those on too. So, and oftentimes refrigerators are probably one of the most negotiated appliances that don't automatically come with the home. And then you can also write some things on the offer, like you don't want the hot tub that's in the backyard. You have no desire to have a hot tub. Maybe you don't want the play set in the backyard because it's all rickety and you don't have any kids. So those are some things that you can exclude from the contract. And then also, we can talk a little bit more about this another time, but closing costs. You can ask the seller to pay a portion of your closing costs. So that's another thing that you can put on your offer. But all of those things you need to know about before you write the offer. And I mean, some of them are changeable, but best to have it all right when you're actually sitting down to send the offer to the seller. And that's all I have for today. Let me just review that really quick. So when you're writing an offer, you need to have a price in mind, the closing date, earnest money, a home warranty if you want one or if you don't. Anything you want to include in the contract, anything you want to exclude in the contract, and do you want to ask the seller for closing costs? So I'm happy to help with all of that information. Please feel free to call my number that's on the screen now, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have and help you find a perfect home. Thank you very much. See you next time.